Hello, wrestling fans. Blake Smith from Walking the Ropes, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Dynamite from Independence, Missouri. But before that, make sure to check out the Walking the Ropes link tree for all things Walking the Ropes. To open the show, we had obviously the unfortunate news on Tuesday night that Jon Moxley will be entering an alcohol treatment program. He'll not be competing tonight, nor for the foreseeable future. And everyone here at Walking the Ropes wishes Moxley the best in his road to recovery and hope that he'll defeat his demons and come back to the wrestling world renewed again. I really do say this truthfully. I don't want, I was really upset when I saw that notification. It's so sad to see people go through shit like that, and I hope Moxley's getting the help he needs. But to actually open the show, we had a singles match, Kenny Omega versus Allen 5 Angels. And the reason we're doing this match is a rematch from the pandemic and is part of the reason why Allen joined the Dark Order in the first place. A year ago, Allen took Kenny to the limit, and Brody Lee saw this and knew Allen would be perfect for the Dark Order. Allen starts off really strong, hitting a drop kick off the bell, but Kenny is the world champion and quickly takes control, and Allen gets a little offense in, but Kenny snuffs it out quickly and is basically just playing with Allen at this point. Angels, though, does have his head on a swivel as he reverses a V-trigger and then hits a tope suicida. The two men then fight on the outside, and Allen looks to send it back inside as he hits a crossbody for a near fall. Kenny responds with a buckle bomb, and give Allen credit here. He is pushing Kenny further than we have seen in the past few months, besides people like Bryan Danielson. Kenny looks to end this after Allen kicks out of the initial V-trigger. He hits two V-triggers to Allen while he's kind of supported on the ropes. And that finishes it. Kenny Omega defeats Allen Angels. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Allen showed that he's a fantastic performer, and obviously Kenny is as well. But Allen is really going to be coming up for the Dark Order for sure. Kenny then gets Michael Nakazawa to give him a chair and sets up for the one-winged angel, but Hangman Adam Page comes out to make the save. He makes quick work of Nakazawa and then takes the chair from Kenny. Allen takes the chair from Kenny, and Page goes for the buckshot lariat, but Kenny ducks and runs. And Hangman then gives the title to Kenny and says, "You better hold on to it. You've got 10 days." We then get the announcement that Orange Cassidy will face Miro in his tournament match tonight instead of Moxley, obviously due to the fact that Moxley is not competing. Malachi Black talks about Tony Khan barring him from ringside and says that won't change anything because when Caesar was assassinated, it wasn't just Marcus that betrayed him. CM Punk then makes his way to the ring and doesn't want to hear his name chanted right now. One name he wants to hear is Moxley because he has a legitimate reason for not being here, and it is important that Moxley gets the help he needs. Punk knows what it's like to do so much, and eventually you have to take yourself off the hamster wheel. And he's damn proud of Moxley for going to get the help he deserves. Then talks about the second guy that isn't here tonight, and that's Eddie Kingston. Says that he doesn't like being interrupted, and Punk says that in St. Louis, he has the time and will be there to accept Kingston's apology. Punk also hints that he's going to take Moxley's spot, but obviously he had to deal with Kingston instead. Miro then talks about entering the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament and asks his god why he's helping him all of a sudden, tells his god that he needs to prove himself before Miro can forgive him. The Elite then talk about what happened last week and says it will never happen again. Cage interrupts them, and so does Luchasaurus, and the Elite goes to leave, but they then turn around and go to super kick them, but Cage and Luchasaurus are expecting this, and they stop them and spill it into the crowd. The Elite hits a low blow, and it looks like this will end the same way as it always does, but Jungle Boy comes off of the stage and takes out the Elite, and they brawl some more, and Cage spears Matt Jackson on the stage, and then goes for the kill switch, but Nick hits a super kick to stop him. Luchasaurus then comes back to stop the Bucks, and he chokeslams Matt onto Adam Cole, and Jungle Boy then makes Cole tap with the snare trap, as Cage grabs some chairs and hits a concerto on Adam Cole. I haven't seen a concerto. I mean, we have seen concertos, but it's really, when you see them, it's really, really cool. Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander talk about their upcoming match in the TBS tournament and say they are both ready for the challenge. We then get the AAA Mega Championship tag team match. The tag titles for AAA, I always forget how the name for that goes. It's FTR defending against Samurai del Sol and Aerostar. Samurai del Sol, for those who aren't familiar with that name, is Kalisto. So that's a very cool name to see appear in AEW. Del Sol and Cash start out, and Samurai looks to speed it up, but FTR slides out, and Aerostar and Dax then get tagged in. And this match could not be a more drastic change in styles, as FTR hits their hard-hitting offense and the Luchadors come back with high-flying dives to the outside. Aerostar then gets caught, and FTR takes control, making quick tags. Aerostar, though, takes on both men, hitting a dive to the outside, and then inside fights to the tag, and Aerostar and Samurai start to wear down FTR, getting a near fall with double roll-ups. Cash and Samurai reverse each other in the ring, while outside, Aerostar, he comes back in, hits a dive, gets a near fall, Dax pulls him out, takes out Samurai, who was going for a dive, as Aerostar then goes back in the ring to roll up Cash, but he reverses him and grabs the rope for the win. FTR defeats Aerostar and Samurai del Sol to retain the AAA Tag Team Championships. The Malteser scale for that match, I gave it a 3.75 out of 5. It was a really good match. It was really cool to see Samurai del Sol and Aerostar. If you've never seen Aerostar, he was on Lucha Underground while that was going on. He's fantastic and just awesome to watch in the ring. We then get Shida talking about her 50th win, and Nyla interrupts her and says that she finally broke through, and now she will hit a roadblock when Nyla beats her. We then get the Inner Circle coming out and talking about their opponents at Full Gear. My picks for what they're going to do are Andre Arlovsky, Junior Dos Santos, Jorge Masvidal, or Paige Van Sant. Before Jericho can choose, though, Dan Lambert comes out and interrupts him and tells him to get it over with. Dan yells at the fans and says he founded this team 25 years ago, so that makes him member number 1. Hands the contract over to Jericho via Aubrey Edwards. Dan then runs down the American Top Team. Men of the Year, Sky and Paige, Andre Arlovsky, Junior Dos Santos, and 2 undefeated Bellator fighters, Dalton Rasta and Austin Vandevort. And then tells them to pick their poison. Junior Dos Santos says that they will drop him faster Junior Dos Santos is the first pick. Says that Hager then says they will drop him faster than his last fight, 71 seconds. Andre Arlovsky is the second pick. Says that Santana says he calls himself the Pitbull. Well, let's see what happens when there are no rules, and tells him to bite this. Dan then stops them, and then Paige says that she wants to be in this match and says she can take all 5 of the inner circle by herself. Jericho says that joke writes itself, and you should put it on her OnlyFans. Ortiz says she's a bitch via Sammy translating. Jericho then says they could choose anyone, but they choose member number 1, Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert looks like he's going to blow up, as that's not what he wanted, and I am excited for that. Dante and Leo talk with Seidel and Lee Moriarty, and Seidel says he respects him, and if he doesn't want him to team, that's fine, and challenges Leo Rush and Dante to a tag match with Lee Moriarty and Matt Seidel. Leo accepts, and we'll be getting that probably sometime next week. We then get the TBS Championship Tournament match. Jamie Hayter versus Anna Jay. Anna Jay and Jamie start out slowly exchanging holds and then spill outside. And Jay sends Jamie into the barricade and goes to send her back into the ring, but Jamie stops her on her way back in. Jamie then takes control of Anna, tossing her around the ring, and it's interesting that Jamie has Britt and Rebel at ringside, but Ty Conti is not ringside for Anna. Jamie seems to be enjoying her beat down that she's putting on Anna as she tries to pin her with one foot. Jamie just beats on Anna in the corner, and Britt taunts and chokes Anna while the ref is pulling Jamie away. Anna, though, tosses Jamie down and sends her face first into the turnbuckles, gets a near fall with a roll-up, but Britt and Rebel get involved, and Jamie hits a big lariat for the win. Jamie Hayter defeats Anna Jay to move on to round 2 and face Thunder Rosa. For my Malteser scale for that match, I gave it a 3.25 out of 5. It was a solid match. I was a bit disappointed with the fact that we got that finish, but it's okay because I feel like Thunder Rosa is going to move on with Jamie, so that's okay. After the match, Ty Conti comes out to stop Britt and her girls from beating on Anna, but the numbers catch up and Britt looks to stomp on Ty, but Thunder Rosa comes out to make the save. Jade Cargill talks about her opponent and says it doesn't matter who she will face, she's going to win, and then she will win the title and rename it That Bitch Show, which is a weird name for a title, because it's a title, not a show. MJF then makes his way to the ring and talks about Darby, who is watching in the crowd. MJF says that the company doesn't work without the two of them, and then asks why the crowd boos MJF but cheers Darby. Says that he is a symbol of everything people wish they could be, but Darby is one of them. Says that he'll never fit in and he'll never win. Calls him weak, and at Full Gear he'll lose because I'm better than you and you know it. MJF says that even if Darby does come into the match with a plan, it won't matter because he's a better wrestler, and says that so much better he could beat him with a headlock takeover. Darby then says at Full Gear they will have a wrestling match because he's going to get his anger out right now. MJF is met at the ramp by Sting because he was going to run, and a horde of masked Darby guys. They all brawl on the ring, or on the stage, with Sean Spears at some point came out there as well. MJF and Darby brawl into the crowd, and Darby tells the fans to move as he sends MJF into the barricade and then gets a running start and hits a clothesline basically through the barricade to the ringside. And then he goes for the coffin drop, but MJF slips away. And then we get a singles match, Andrade El Idolo versus Cody Rhodes. Andrade slaps Cody, and Cody quickly turns it around, and basically the point of this match is neither guy can get the advantage. Cody hits a drop kick as Andrade comes off the top rope, and Andrade then pushes Cody off the top rope as he was going for the Cody cutter. Outside the ring, Cody and Andrade exchange shots, and both men have done their homework on the other, as neither man can get a lot going at once. Cody goes for the Tiger Driver 98, but Andrade answers with a back elbow, and then Cody explodes out of the corner with a huge clothesline and goes for Crossroads, but Andrade answers with the Three Amigos and hits the last one in the corner. Andrade then goes for the split leg moonsault, but Cody moves, then hits Dusty's punches and elbow, and Andrade locks in the figure four. Cody turns and escapes. Jose then distracts Cody, and Arn deals with him. But during this, FTR hits Cody with the AAA tag titles, and Andrade hits an armlock DDT basically for the win. Andrade El Idolo defeats Cody Rhodes. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was honestly really good. I enjoyed watching the way this match worked because, Andrade was just, it was just a very solid storytelling through that whole match. After the match, FTR and Andrade take out Cody and then turn to Arn, but the Lucha Brothers come out to make the save. Tony Schiavone then talks with John Silver, and John says that it's Silver versus Budge, not Silver versus Adam Cole. Talks about all the advice he's given Budge, and says that he's not, if he had listened, Budge wouldn't have gotten a concerto tonight, and says that he's going to kick Adam Cole's ass. Red Velvet and the Bunny talk about what they will do to win the TBS championship. The Bunny says she's okay with being the villain if it means the TBS championship is in her sights. Bryan Danielson joins commentary for the main event, which is the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament match, Orange Cassidy versus Miro. Orange wastes no time running around and seeming to try and tire out Miro, but eventually he gets caught and Miro tosses him around the ring. Miro's angry as he beats on Orange, and it seems like it'll only be a matter of time, as Miro is taunting the crowd with Orange's bandage that was around his ribs. Orange starts to get angry himself and starts to take it to Miro, hitting him into the corner and then hitting a DDT for a near fall. Miro slips outside and Orange hits him a dive to the outside through the timekeeper's table and gives Matt Hardy a thumbs up as he's watching ringside because that feud is also still going on. Miro just beats the 10 count barely as he slides under the bottom ropes, and Orange sets up for the Orange Punch. Miro stops him and answers, but Orange answers with a beach break, which I thought was insane. He only gets a near fall out of that, and Orange then gets taken out of midair as he was going for the Orange Punch again, and Miro hits the big kick and locks in game over for the win. Miro defeats Orange Cassidy to face Bryan Danielson in the finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 4.25 out of 5. It was a really solid match. I enjoyed basically everything that the whole had to offer, especially considering that they had to put this together 24 hours basically to do all of this, which is nuts. After the match, Bryan makes his way down to the ring and goes to shake Miro's hand, but Miro leaves. My overall for the show, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a solid show, great build for Full Gear. There's a couple of matches I feel like, or not matches, but like matches on Full Gear's card that I feel could have gotten a bit better builds in some spots, but overall it was fine. My match of the night is Alan Angels versus Kenny Omega. It was better than I thought it would be, actually. This segment of the night, it goes to the Inner Circle and American Top Team, as well as MJF and Darby. I thought both were fantastic for their own reasons. And then my performers of the night, it's Alan Angels, Miro, and Orange Cassidy. All three of these guys just did fantastic, and it was awesome to watch. But that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.